Hello everyone, how are you? It's Miss C. So today we're going to be doing math, and math today has 2 assignments. I repeat, it has 2 assignments, so I recommend that you guys keep that in mind, that you will have to be submitting 2 assignments, so do not forget. Okay, let's go with our basics. Oh, before we start, I am playing some jazz music in the background. Boys and girls, you guys know that I love playing music while you guys are doing work, or while I'm even studying and doing work for school. It really calms me down. So if you guys want to play some music in the background to relieve your stress a little bit while you're doing your work, I totally recommend doing that. You know, Mrs. Almeida always does that too with you guys. She always plays the Disney classical music in the background. Just at low volume, because you also don't want to get distracted while you're working. It's best that you play music that don't have any words, because then you will get distracted with singing along and you won't finish your work, and then it'll turn into a huge dance party, and that can wait until Friday. So if you guys want to play some music in the background, I definitely recommend. It's very soothing. So we're gonna start with math. You guys should know the procedure of it. Remember to always check up on here. Make sure that we are on math, okay? So that is good. And then always to click on class pages, and it'll bring you to this page that where we're at right now. Scroll down and click on week 2, and we are on week 2. And since it is Thursday, boys and girls, we are doing our day 4. So please scroll to day 4. As you can see, it has a video and it has 2 assignments, okay? So it has assignment 1 and assignment 2. You can click on them and you can read them, but as always, I will have them posted on a Word doc for you guys. So don't worry about that. I would recommend you guys completing this assignment 1 and assignment 2 in your math notebooks, and then taking a picture of it and then submitting the work to Mrs. Almeida, or just submitting it here through Powerschool, okay? So to begin with, we are learning about line plotting. So line plotting, basically, I'm going to bring up a picture here. It's an anchor chart. It's basically about showing how frequently something occurs by displaying data on a number line. So don't worry, I'll explain it more. So it gives you key vocabulary here. So this is just an example, okay? So on this bottom line, you guys know what this is. This is a number line, okay? It's a lot of fractions, don't worry about it. Just worry about the x's that we see here. Alrighty, so now the problem here says, you'll see right here, a chef collects data to display how many cups of sugar he uses in a variety of recipes. He displays the data on a line plot, which is this, to show how frequently, another word for frequently is how often, he uses each amount. So the label represents what the numbers or labels show. So the numbers here are showing the cups of sugar in recipes, okay? Each X, boys and girls, as you can see here, represents one recipe that uses that amount of sugar. Because what are we trying to find here? How many cups of sugar he uses in a variety, in a different amount of recipes, okay? And then the X equals 1 recipe. So if we were to look at this plot, how many cups does he use in 1 cup? How many? He uses 2. He uses it in 2 recipes, right? So in 1 cup of sugar, he uses it in 2 recipes, okay? What about this one? He has a 1/4 cup of sugar here. So how many recipes does he use a 1/4 cup? He uses, let's count the X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he uses 5 recipes to use a 1/4 cup of sugar. So let's see another one. let's go to the number 2. So the number 2 represents the cups of sugar in his recipes. But how many recipes does he use each X? How many cups of sugar does he use in the recipe? Remember, the X represents the one recipe. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So he uses 2 cups of sugar in 4 recipes. Okay? So that's what usually what it's about with line plotting. It's very simple. The problems that you guys are going to have, the assignments are not going to be this crazy, I promise. Also, if you guys are still just a little bit confused, there is the Khan Academy video that they have right above here where you guys can click it and you guys can just go here and it'll take you to this first video. What I recommend you guys doing is clicking read line plots, and it's a 4-minute video. It'll show you the different examples. So if we were to do an example here, guys, I'm gonna do a line plot with you. And if you guys want to follow along, I would greatly appreciate that because then it just shows that you guys are engaging with me. So here we have Dia, Imran, Surya, Jasper, Vikram, Luke, and Anya. Okay, so now we have the age numbers 3, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 6. So with this, we don't have to write all of these numbers on a number line. Only you have to write the number once, okay? So what's the smallest number here? Who can comment below? If you said the number 3, you are correct. So I suggest you guys writing the number 3 like this. Number 3. Now what's the next number? What's the next biggest number that we have? And draw a line. We have 5, right? 5 and 3. And then what comes after 5? We have 6. Remember, we're not repeating the number. 6. And what comes after 6? 7. However, we're missing a number. Even though it's not there, we should still have it in there because it's part of the number line. I did not do it correctly, the spacing, so don't worry, you guys will probably do a better one than me. So now here it's asking the age. So this is, I'll do it in a different color to help you guys out. This is the age, right? The ages, which is important. Okay, and now we need to know how many students, how many kids are that have each age. So the X, remember the X represents how many students are 3 years old, how many students are 4 years old, how many students are 5 years old, how many students are 6 years old, and how many students are 7 years old. So the X here, I'm gonna do another color. The X here equals how many students are that age, right? How many students are this age? That's basically what the X represents. Okay? So, looking back on the graph at the Khan Academy, how many people are the age of 3? Who can tell me? I'm going to write it down. Now, I'll show you guys the graph after I'm done. Now, how many people here are 4 years old? Write down that on your line plot. Remember, just a hint, if there isn't anybody with that age, then you will not include it you will not draw an X on the line plot, sorry. Okay, next number, 5. Who here on this, how many students are 5 years old? How many students here are 5 years old? So you guys will just draw the X's above the number 5 if you guys see it. So number 6, the age 6. How many kids here are 6 years old? How many kids do we see here are 6 years old? Okay, so draw the X's on your line plot if you guys see it. And the last one, how many kids here are 7 years old? How many do we see here are 7 years old? Now, I'm going to write the number of X's right above the X's that I did. And I hope you guys have the same looking line plots as me. Okay? Let's see. This is what mine looked like. If yours look like this, that's awesome. Maybe you guys can send a picture of the example that we did on Khan Academy. So there was only one kid who was 3 years old. Let's look back. We see Dia is 3. Do we see anybody else? Nope. So only one X. Now, 4 years old. Do we see anybody here who's 4 years old? Nope. So 0. 5. How many students do we see here? We have 1 that's 5 years old, 2 that's 5 years old, and that's it. So guys, you should only have 2 X's for 5. For the 6, let's see how many. We see 3, 5, 5. Oh, there's 6, so that's 1. We see another 6, that's 2, 7, 6, 3. So you guys should have 3 X's. And for 7, 3, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7. We have 1, and that's it. So you should only have 1 X. Okay? So that's how to do a line plot. We're just going to write line plot. Let me do this back face. Okay? That's how you do that. So if we were to look at your assignment here, assignment 1 says Lucas compares the heights of the bushes in his yard. So I highlighted this keyword, heights and bushes in his yard, because those are very important to this problem. Now, it asks, he measures the bushes to the nearest ½ inch. Then he makes a line plot to show his data. Boys and girls, so with fractions, you guys know this. A half and a half gets you what? Answer below. Comment below if you guys know the answer. It gets you to what? A half and a half. It gets you a whole. If you guys got that answer right, it gets you to a whole. So looking here, we see 36. If we do 36 and we add a half, we get 36 and a half. If we have 36 and a half and we add a half, we get a whole, which is 37. If we have 37 and we add a half, we get 37 and a half. And if we get 37 and a half and we add another half, we get another whole, which is 38. So just remember that, okay? That a half and a half gets you a whole. You guys know this, though. So don't really worry about this part. You guys are mainly worried about these 2 questions here. It's asking us, how many bushes are in Lucas's yard? Explain how you know. So the bottom number is showing us inches. And the X's are the heights of the bushes. How many? So how many does he have in his yard total? Are we worried about the inches, or are we worried about how many there are in total? So keep that in mind. And question number 2 says, does Lucas have more bushes that are shorter than, I highlighted shorter than, or taller than 37 inches? So boys and girls, what is less than 37 inches in this graph? Do we go this way or do we go that way? Which ones are less? Once you have that number, I suggest you write your shorter on one side of your paper, and then you find your larger on your other side of the paper, like a T-chart, if you can say, like this. This is what I'm talking about. You guys are just having a hard time understanding. You can do shorter on one side, and then you can do taller on the other side. So sorry, my handwriting is super poor. So you can do it here. You can write the amount that's shorter here, and then you can write the taller that's here. And then that can help you guys figure out question 2. And then you have to explain to me why that is shorter than or taller than. Okay? And that is assignment 1. Assignment 2 is pretty simple. Suppose you measured a length of yarn that was about 4.5 inches. How would you need to change the line plot shown to record this length? So, boys and girls, remember what I said about a half and a half and making a hole? Look at this, or even look at the pattern. 2.5, you add a half gets you a 3. 3, you add a half gets you 3.5. 3.5 adding a half gets you to 4. So what comes after 4 in the line plot? That's what you guys have to show me. Where would you put 4.5 inches on this line plot? Okay? And that's all you have to show me. But then you also have to show me how many there are in 4.5 inches. Because they're asking, this is the length. So there's only one that's 2.5. There's 3 that's 3 inches. There are 4 yarns that are 3.5 inches. There are 2 yarns that are 4.5 inches. And then next, not 4.5, I'm so sorry, 4 inches, not 4.5. So here, if you guys look here, I highlighted the key words for you. Suppose you measured a length of yarn that was about 4.5 inches. That should give you guys the answer of what the dot should represent for 4.5 inches. If you guys get that answer, that's great. Copy it into your math notebook. You guys can send a picture to Mrs. Almeida of it. But if you can try to upload it on Powerschool, please try to. Again, if you guys need any help, please reach out. And I hope you guys have a good day. Stay safe, wash your hands, and just be safe.